All right, so let's go back to our symposium. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our first speaker, Mr. Ng Chuen Ser, Director of Singapore Lifeguard Academy, and also founder and managing director of V3 Equity Club, to present his presentation on drowning and CPR. Mr. Ng, please, let's give the man a big hand. And also, folks, much later on, we're going to have a panel discussion. So, of course, if you have any questions after the speakers, reserve them and we'll use these questions during our panel discussion. So don't be afraid to ask any questions you have. We have 3 speakers available to answer all your questions.
Thank you, Samson. Good morning, Dr. Lim Wee Kiat, Prof. Ng Chuen Ser, Dr. Bernard Ho, Prof. Lim Swee Han, distinguished guests, fellow instructors, and friends. I'm Chuen Ser. We'll be sharing on drowning and CPR. Okay, my interest is in water and water activities, and especially into the safety and drowning related. From swimming all the way to scuba diving, all on this area. Okay. Since I'm the first speaker, I'll start with what is drowning. So the definition of drowning is very simple. It's a process of experiencing respiratory impairment from submersion and immersion in liquid. So what is the difference between submersion and immersion is because it can be a deep pool of water. It can be a shallow water. So drowning can occur in only a few inches of water. As long as your airway is blocked, you can't breathe. Respiratory impairment, that's drowning. Okay? And why is it a concern to us? Because this is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. So in general, there's about more than 200,000 drowning deaths a year, meaning about more than 600 per day. Drop down to per hour, it's about 26 lives lost globally. Means by the time we finish 30 minutes presentation, 13 lives will be lost because of drowning. So it's a huge number. And all these things actually can be prevented. Okay? So instead of looking at globally, we narrow down to our region. So Southeast Asia region, more than 7,000 a year. And that's one of the largest. Okay, so now we lower down to Singapore context. We worked this out in pre-COVID, the number of drowning deaths for the 5 years, 2015 to 2019. After that COVID, the data will be a bit different. These are the drowning deaths, not the drowning case that treated. Okay, so hospital did a very good job. Number of survivors is quite high. With all this number, we can narrow down and look at what are the areas that we should be focusing. So at different age group, child, we have a small number, okay, and the middle there's one group that's quite huge, and then the aging population there another group. So based on all these things, we need to look at what actually trigger all this and how we can focus on the area to improve. Without proper data or measurements, we can't understand it well, we can't control, we can't improve. Okay, so this is only the data for drowning death, not the water drowning case. Later, Dr. Kashif will be able to share a little more about what good job they've done and the number of survivors is there. Okay, so from the drowning in this region, so what are the areas, what are the risks involved? So it depends on the terrain. There are water bodies, river, lakes, and the habit, the lifestyle we have, and that's the key reason. For ours, basically we only focus on one thing. Pool. Singapore is about slightly over 700 square kilometers with about 6 million population, and the number of pools is usually more than 2,000 pools everywhere. So to us, it's very common. Those people stay in condominium with a pool, to them it's a backyard. Kids play there regularly, and they take for granted. They think that the kids learn some swimming should be safe enough, they are old enough, and that's not true. So we need to look at this area so that we can reduce the number of drowning. So some of the action that require different agencies to get involved. Some of the safety regulation, and for our responsible, SPORT is doing the swimming program kind of thing, together with MOE and so on, and then the rest of us, aftercare, CPR. So the more people who can do CPR, that makes a lot of difference. Okay. Let's look at one CCTV footage. This one is happening in 2011 CCTV. Small little pool. Okay, I start first. The diameter is about 12 meters. So it's not a very big pool. The girl is swimming. You can see that she glides while she's a good swimmer. She's actually one of the residents there. It's just a quiet pool. So just a few pool and kicks, she just glide across. So definitely is a good swimmer. Okay, her friend arrived, 17-year-old boy. So sometimes you look at behavior of a person. Usually, a 17-year-old will just jump in the pool if he's comfortable in the water. But for his case, he moved to the stairs and climbed down the stairs. Okay, so now they are walking in the pool. So from some of the behavior, probably we can narrow down that this is a non-swimmer or not very good swimmer, weak swimmer. Okay, so he's happily walking when the other person is swimming. You look at the pool color. There's a greenish color, there's a light blue color, and the other is a bit darker blue, indicate different depths. Okay, so now the light blue is the slope. He can't balance himself, he can't breathe, he's struggling, drowning started. So the girl looked at it, the girl tried to help. She's not trained in life saving, the guy grabbed him. So if she can't clear, she lost conscious, you have two bodies in the pool. So she managed to scream for help, she managed to break free, she moved to the shallow end. You see the other boy is still in the water. So while screaming for help, luckily these two guys nearby. The man jumped in, grabbed the boy out. Okay, get out of water, he starts CPR. The other lady then called ambulance. Because of the fast action, compression, ventilation, he regained breathing. Because all this action, a lot of sound, other residents come and take a look. Right, put to recovery position, get a towel, dry him a bit, protect from the element. Okay, continue to monitor vital signs for ambulance. Now it's time to rescue his handphone or wallet. Okay, I stop here. The rest of the video is the ambulance arrived rather quickly and then evacuate the person to hospital. So you can see all these things happen in just a split second. Drowning can occur within 20 seconds to 60 seconds and the person is gone. So with the right person, the right action makes a lot different. A lot of cases happen very fast and no one knows what to do because we always think that it's common sense and it's a lot of things is not common to us. We don't see drowning every day. Okay, so in order to help us to make decisions fast and decisive, there's a chain of survival. So we know from CPR, we know about chain survival for CPR. Drowning, there's another chain of survival. Drowning, chain of survival. Okay, so it comes in this 5 ring. Prevention is always there, and then followed by recognition, flotation, evacuation, and finally resuscitation. So it depends on which region we are in. For low income, medium income region or country, focus more on the prevention. You might not have the luxury of having AD or O2 or trained person nearby or ambulance support and so on. So focus would be at that. So different country have different focus and different area have different interests that they have to work upon in order to reduce drowning. So drowning is a global effort that we have to help to prevent. Okay, let's look at some of the things for prevention. In general, very simple. Number one is always that active adult supervision. This is something that, especially for our case, most parents bring the kids to the pool. They think that safe. There's other people swimming. They are lifeguard duty. They are swimming instructor around, and they are busy on the phone watching video or chit chat away. And that is not good. Because 20 seconds and that's it. You'll miss it. Also, adult supervision is very important. And that also happened for home pool, for the medium private pool. They let cosmetic helper to bring the kids down to play. They are not actively looking at the kids or chit-chatting away. So they allow the kids with the neighbor go down and play on their own. And they think that, the older sibling is mature enough to look after the younger kids. No, it's not. They are still children. Okay, so adult supervision is very, very important. Okay, so that's number one. If you can do that, probably will reduce quite a lot of problem. Okay, number two will be buddy up, don't swim alone. And only swim in a safe area where there's salt, designated swimming area, lifeguard duty, etc. So don't venture out to a place that is not suitable for swimming. Okay, next one will be compliant to all the safety regulation. For example, on the boat, vessel, canoeing, etc. So wear life vest. Follow all the safety instruction. Understand them and comply with them. Next one, develop swimming and all those water safety and life saving program. It's compulsory for our primary school. I think P3, P4 children to do swim safer program and so on. So continue all this training because it's a life skill that it's not only healthy but one day might need it. Okay, and finally the last one, employ drowning detection device. Now we have the Poseidon at public pool. There are also small gadgets suitable for condo pool as well. And some of them are rather useful. It helps to detect better, faster than a human life. Okay, so this is the prevention part. So it depends on which region, and every region have their own interest to focus on something that is more suitable during the period of time. Okay, next one, recognition. A lot of drowning happen in the pool where there are other swimmers as well, and no one noticed because drowning is not like what we see in the movie, someone screaming, splashing, and so on. It can be quite silent. When the person can't swim, lost orientation in the water, it can be rather shallow water. The person just can't stand up. So what happened to the person? Will be holding breath, holding on to it. And when you're holding your breath, probably that is your last breath, you will not be screaming or you can't even breathe, you can't lift up the head and breathe and so on. So that is something that can be very fast and very silent. And the person can lose conscious because low oxygen, and that's it. And if the person lost conscious and start submerge, probably people will miss it. Okay, and you look at some of the cases, many of the drowning happen in pool where there are other people just beside the drowning person, and no one noticed for quite a long period of time. So it's good to train to recognize, to be able to recognize how a drowning person looks like, whether it's a non-swimmer, weak swimmer, or the person having some difficulty, injured person, and so on. So there is some of the skill, it's good to know. Okay, so at least you know what you're looking out for. Okay, and other things that can be predictive. So for example, you got a pool crowded with all swimmer. A well-trained lifeguard can tell, okay, this behavior, this non-swimmer, these kids are not very tall and this is deeper, and probably I'll advise them not to play at this area. Or especially the design of the pool is a shallow pool and then there's a slope, probably you'll get the kids to play at the other area rather than there, because it's an accident waiting to happen. Okay, so a lot of good lifeguard prevent situations from happening, and that's not recorded as one of the rescue. But they did a wonderful job. Okay, so before the thing developed, you're able to tell, you're able to step in and prevent it from developing out of control. Okay. The second type is distress. Person might be not experiencing drowning yet, he's still breathing normally, he just swim a bit too far out and get tired, not able to swim back to safety. And if you can recognize he's still in the same place, like treadmill like that, probably he can't get back. And if as long as you acknowledge and you can provide certain help, get a protection device to the person, he can rest, he can breathe. he can regain, or change direction, like rip current and so on. So all these are different situations where they had to use a different approach rather than fighting against nature. Or we will get tired, we will get cold, we can't continue. So instead of fighting against current, go sideways and come back from the other way. All these are techniques of getting ourselves out of the difficult situation. Okay, and the last one is the drowning thing. The rescue part will come in from a basic, safe manner like land-based style rescue. You can do a throw. There's lifebuoy at the pool. Some of the old pools have those long pole, the rescue hook. And new pools seldom have that. Some of the old pools do have that, and somehow after renovation they keep it somewhere in the storeroom. That is not right thing to do because they do not reuse it. So learn how to use all the correct equipment, and deploy there. And just a simple reach is safer that way. Rather than a person see, oh, that pond need help, and you jump in, you put yourself in danger. That is not correct. Okay, and of course, I mean, if it's a 3-year-old in a shallow pool having difficulty standing up, of course, you're just walking and pull the kids out. Okay, unless it's a deep pool, bigger size casualty, then probably you have to use correct methods to approach. Likewise, the video earlier, the girl is a good swimmer, but when the person not able to breathe, the grab is very strong. She might not be able to get herself out. Okay, so the correct approach is very, very important. And then if you need to really enter water to help, get a flotation device with you. A lifebuoy, the big plastic thing, can take 4 adult weight. So as long as you grab to it, the other person can grab your end, you can push yourself back. Or the rescue tube, the one, the long noodle, the one, the sausage thing, okay, the rescue tube, okay, that the lifeguard deployed, that can take easily 2 adults' weight. So use the right equipment. Not the noodle, the kids playing, that one can't take the weights well. Okay, use the correct equipment, use it correctly, you'll be safer that manner. Okay, so these are the recognition and then the approach. Okay, the correct approach at the beginning is this: provide flotation. Always provide flotation first. Because the person can't breathe. If he can't breathe, he panic and he won't last very long. Oxygen level low, blackout, different story already. So provide flotation. Once the guy can float, then we think about how to get the person out. That happens in natural environment like rivers, current gets strong, fresh flood, and then it gets stuck, can't come back, your current getting too strong. Provide whatever flotation first. The person can breathe, stay above the water, then find a rope, whatever, and do the next step, next course of action. Okay, so this is the flotation thing. And then finally, the last one, get the person out. Okay, so we can do the assist, we can do the rescue, okay, or you can enter water. So all this good to be formally trained. So at least you know which step to use and why it's used and how safely and what are the danger that you can get yourself involved and how to mediate accordingly. Okay, then last part, that is what we're doing, CPR. Drowning case, always CPR. So more people train CPR is always useful. And before that, of course, call ambulance. Only they can do more. Then reach hospital, they can do more. So don't forget to call ambulance. When we do CPR for this, it's a bit different. We do compression and ventilation. Without ventilation, will not be that useful. Okay? So our BCIs cover this. And then for those facility with extra equipment, oxygen, AED, yes, all will come in. But of course, the CPR will go in first, then the rest will come in. Ventilation will go in first. Because the guy already low in oxygen, priority need to set correct. Okay, then look at what are the common practice everywhere in the world. Under this you call this a 2023 summary. Always start ventilation. If you are not trained in ventilation, you only train in hands-only CPR. By all means, do compression. Without compression, is do nothing is not good. Start compression. But if you are trained in BCIs, compression, ventilation. Then, if for those with a duty of care, whether you are a professional paid lifeguard or you are a volunteer lifesaver, start ventilation first, then followed by the 32. And then the rest of the equipment will come in with oxygen or with AED. And oxygen normally we will set to the highest percentage of oxygen. Okay. Then, under European Research Council is more interesting. They increased the number of initial breath to 5. So we have 2 versions, 2 initial breath or 5 initial breath. Both acceptable. So the International Life Saving Federation will come up with a statement that satisfies everyone. So they say, give at least 2 ventilation. So whether you are following the European Research Council or American Heart, it's fine. So with all the different position statements that they publish, it's always ventilation first, it's always 30 to 2, that is always a key thing. Because important is that it is not much benefit for circulating oxygen poor blood. So ventilation is very important. Okay. And for those that train in drowning, not only CPR, AED, there are some other complications that we come across. They might have the person down there on the floor, they can't open the jaw, it's locked. So some of them will be panicked because they never had such issue, the medical never had this issue. And if they are delaying CPR, that will not be good. So they need to be able to recognize that this can be common, or it can happen, and what I need to do next. Also, there's a correct course section, rather than break teeth and so on. Okay, then the other thing is laryngospasm. This also can happen for drowning as well, and what are you going to do about it? Okay, and other thing is frothing. As far as liquid enter the lungs, mixed with surfactants, probably you produce froth. So for some people, first time see this will be a big panic. So as far as they recognize, this can happen for drowning, and no issue. Okay, other thing, vomit and regurgitation. Remember the guy drowning, he's holding breath, he's sucking a lot of air, he's drinking a lot of water as well. So the stomach full with gas and water. Now, totally relaxed, lying on the floor, you do chest compression, probably you get something out from there as well. Okay, so you need to recognize this is common. Once you recognize that it's good, it can be having all these things rather than the plastic face, alcohol smell, alcohol medicine. A real person with all these reactions, you're able to handle. Okay, then for different environment, it's different again. If a person trained in a pool, it is a totally different environment to train in a seaside or boat type of activity. So, person who is working in the pool as a lifeguard might not be able to cover a triathlon where they are swimming across different locations. So, they are using different equipment. Are they using a canoe to do a rescue or using a jet ski to do a rescue? The setting is different. The skill set is different. Knowledge required is different. So it is not just, I train in one, I can apply in every area. So likewise, scuba diving is different as well. So, okay, I'm trained in life saving, I go scuba diving, I'm supposed to be able to cover a lot of safety. Might not be, because under gas law, it's totally different. You've got Boy's law, Charles law, Archimedes principle, etc. So we talk about the volume inversely proportional to pressure. So every 10 meters is 1 more atmospheric pressure. It's a totally different thing. You can deep compression units, AGE coming in as well, and barotrauma. So a lot of things will have to take into consideration. If the person is still conscious, probably you have to do an on-site neurological assessment and so on. And then O2 is definitely one of the first things. So it's a lot of extra stuff that involved in different activity, different area. Then when you go out to a certain place that water is cold, hypothermia, you have another issue. And then with surf, rip current, that is another big problem. We don't have all this here, but we travel. We go holiday. I'm a good swimmer. I see the sea, and then you jump down, you start screaming, cramp, water too cold for me, and so on. So learn from the local. What are the precautions, what do you do, and how we can do it safely, rather than assume that I'm trained, I can do it. Not transferable, some of the knowledge skill. Okay? And talk a little bit about equipment. For lifeguards, they use oxygen. Basically very simple. Oxygen equipment comes with 4 components. You need a cylinder to hold the gas. You need a regulator to step down the pressure. You need a hose to deliver, and finally the mask. And all this equipment depends on the different situation, the different casualty. If the person is breathing, a drowning person, still breathing, probably my first choice will be using the demand inhaler valve. You just put on the face, you just breathe normally. So the oxygen supply can be up to about 95%, it's one of the best. But because you need the pressure right to open up the valve to breathe, if the person breathing is too fast, too shallow, and too weak, it might not work. Then you have to use the other one, a non-rebreather mask. Or you use the hose, switch on, fill the reservoir, and the thing will work. Okay, so these two are used for breathing person. It can be conscious and must be breathing. If the person is not breathing, of course CPR coming. CPR coming, you use your pocket mask. Or if you use a pocket mask directly, your expired air will be at 16% oxygen. If you connect to oxygen, you can be up to 60%, much better. Then if I don't use pocket mask, I can use a BVM. If I use a BVM without oxygen, 21% oxygen. If I connect to oxygen, it go up to 95% oxygen. But of course, all this equipment need maintenance, need training. You have to learn to seal properly, maintain it, do properly, and the correct strength. If you are overdone, too much pressure, forced air in the stomach, it might not be what we want to see. Okay, so all these equipment need a lot of practice as well. Or don't simply, oh, I buy it, I know how to use it, and so on. So, train. And finally, there's another piece of equipment, is the MTV, manual trigger ventilator, which is, I like this the most. Okay, but if you don't use this properly trained, get the latest equipment with all the safety feature, where the pressure is high, you will cut off. Or not the old equipment that you can continue to inflate, that might not be good. Okay, so this one, same thing. You seal, you press, oxygen supply can be up to 95%. And if you're not pressing, it serves as a demand valve. Okay, so the choice, it's not only the equipment, but the choice. What are casualty, what are situation, which one to use. If this thing don't work, what do you do next? And by using oxygen, we talk about all the good things about, it's going to be good. There are also some danger that we have to recognize, some hazard we need to recognize. Oxygen toxicity is one of them. If you're having a partial pressure oxygen, up to 1.6% suffer central nervous system oxygen toxicity. So that's a problem. Or if the person breathing oxygen for a long period of time, 100% oxygen, breathing for 10 hours, probably the symptom will show pulmonary oxygen toxicity. Then for COPD person, also something that to be careful. Of course, young children and there are danger involved oxygen, but normally not really applicable to first aider. Doesn't mean that I'm a first aider, I don't have long supply of oxygen, my project pressure will never reach that high, I'm safe to use. But you still need to recognize there's always hazard involved. So everything need to understand more before you apply. Okay. And then beside that, you are using equipment. Fire triangle. Oxygen is colorless, odorless, tasteless, but it supports combustion. So make sure extinguish all the flame, well ventilated area. The equipment must be oxygen clean, oxygen rated. That's the right thing. And also transportation, storage, you can't put in the hot sun, or put your car boots and leave it in the hot sun unless you intend to change a new car. And transportation, because the cylinder is heavy, it rolls. So these are the small little things we need to be properly trained and also maintenance. In Singapore, it's every 5 years you need to have a hydrostatic test. Make sure everything is functioning well. Okay? These are the safety. So likewise, CPR need to be recertified every 2 years. Using all this oxygen or life-saving train is advisable to be recertified regularly so that you make sure yourself is current and revisit all the important points. Okay, last thing, we talk about drowning CPR. If you are using oxygen, using AED, there are more things to do, right? So it's good to have more. This one I took in quite a number of years back when the Japanese visit UPEC. We arranged for them to visit Sport SG, one of the E-drill. So they demonstrated the pit crew CPR 3%. So today we're going to show a simple 2-person CPR with AED and O2. We managed to get Larry and Madeline to volunteer for today. Poor thing we bullied the girl, sorry. Okay, so Mr. Ambu Man is swimming. Larry is on duty at the poolside. Madeline is at the office area. We noticed that Mr. Ambu Man having difficulty, struggled a bit, lost consciousness, not moving. So what Larry do first thing is to send a message to the other lifeguard. Okay, after he acknowledged, Madeline will call ambulance and prepare equipment. Larry get the casualty out of water, start 2 ventilation. After 2 ventilation, you will start the 30 to 2 CPR. So while doing that, Mandarin already called ambulance, coming with the rest of the equipment and help. So CPR will not be interrupted. CPR is always first priority. So they are doing at a slower pace so that everyone can see clearly. Okay, she'll get ready the AED, switch on, dry the person, definitely it's wet from the pool. Then after that, place the electropad.
Check breathing. If patient is a child, press child button. Remove bag package. Cut or tear clothing to expose patient's bare chest. Don't touch patient.
Okay, analyzing. Mandarin will take over the CPR with the AED, whereas Larry prepare the PVM O2.
Start CPR. Push to match the tone.
After 30, to ventilation. Okay, they'll continue until the next cycle of analysis. And for this case, because they call ambulance early and the SDM is very prompt, they arrive and they take over. Okay, so thank you very much.
Unit powering off.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Mr. Ng a big round of applause, everybody. And also to the medical team as well, a big hand, everyone, for the very, very interesting demonstration.